Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, along with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
And nobody else. And this is State of Atlanta.
We'll make do.
We'll figure it out.
And so the mad scramble for another guest did not come up with anybody, or was there not, in fact, a mad scramble?
I did not put a lot of effort into finding someone to replace Tim this week while he's at the United game, because obviously he prefers professional soccer over Georgia State.
Oh, I didn't realize he was still in town. No,
he's just at the
dipping on us.
He's at the soccer game down at Mercedes-Benz. So
couldn't he just do it from there?
Maybe a little loud. I don't know how well the reception would be there, but
you never know until you try.
Exactly. Yeah, so I guess the show will be a third of the length, right? We'll only go 40 minutes this week.
Oh boy, we can hope we can make it that long. I don't really like you very much, so it's gonna be weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Now you don't like me. That's where you're going.
I just figure I can talk crap right now, and it works. So
there you go. All right. Well, we had 3 championship games, or I guess 3 conference championships going on over the weekend. Georgia State made it to 2 championship games in both beach volleyball and in men's tennis.
Wait, like the finals? Is that what you mean by a championship game?
Yep, the championship game.
Right.
So golf is still going on right now, but we're out. But beach volleyball and men's tennis made it to the championship game. Beach volleyball is a little bit different. I don't know how that whole program operates, but there was I think there was 11 teams in conference, and they broke it up into 2 different, I say divisions. I guess they call them groups, a blue group and an aqua group. Somehow we were first seed in the blue group, even though there were teams ranked higher than us, like nationally, conference wins or something, I guess maybe. Anyhow, we played for the championship of the blue group and lost, and I don't think that the winner goes on to play the aqua group at all.
Okay, so you just have 2 champions, blue and aqua?
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Whatever, man. Whatever. That doesn't make any sense. I say whatever, but that's confusing. Don't you want the best team in the nation?
It makes no sense having put very, very little effort into what actually went on. So that's just what I gathered from my limited research in the whole thing.
We're probably just totally wrong about this, and I'm just counting on you. So I've done even less research because I'm just depending on you.
Well, no one should ever rely on me. My wife doesn't even rely on me, so I'm very unreliable. Like when they give if you can give 5 words to describe somebody, when they're describing me, unreliable is definitely at the top of the list.
Yeah. I mean, most of the plans that I make with you involve either this podcast or going to drink and eat tacos, and you're pretty reliable on both of those fronts.
Yeah, if you dangle a beer in front of me, I will tend to follow that. That would work. Like the old cartoon stick with a beer in front of it. I'd run a marathon, no doubt about it, until I passed a place that had beer, and then I would just run inside of there.
And then you're like, oh wait, there's more in there.
Exactly. I don't know if this one
smell it out
in front of me. So no, but so the conference championship that they beat, I guess they had a first round bye, and they beat Southern Miss 5-0, and then they beat number 12 FIU 4-1.
All right.
Good. And then they lost to FAU 1-3, which is a team we'd actually beaten back in March. So
is this like single elimination though?
Yeah. Single elimination.
That's crazy.
Or maybe it's double elimination, but because we made it to the championship, there's no other game to be played. So I don't know. When I was looking at this stuff today, again, I don't understand anything about beach volleyball, the way that operates. Southern California is number 1 nationally with a 23-2 record. We're 23-13, which means we've played 11 more games. Like that's a lot of more games. So
we have exactly the number of wins. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe being California, maybe they didn't play maybe they didn't start their season as early because of the COVID stuff or something. So I don't understand how that works. But either way, we did move up in the national rankings from 19 to 17. I don't know if that will change because of if USC and other schools are playing more games or whatever. But I think you got to take when you play for a conference championship, you want to win it. But either way, still probably a pretty good season, all things considered, for this year for the Sandy Panthers, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. I'll take it. So when I was doing some more looking into that, because I actually did do some research. So Coach Beth Van Fleet, she's a Georgia State alum and like a record holder in volleyball here, and pretty much well known nationally in the beach volleyball game. So we have a pretty good coach, and I guess it's paying dividends on the sand. So.
and she's been our coach since the very beginning, I think, right?
I think she was, if I read right, I think she was an assistant coach the very first year, and then took over head coaching the very next year. But again, I'm unreliable. Don't trust that.
100% unreliable.
Yeah. So hopefully she plans on sticking around for quite a long time and continues doing stuff. We're doing well with the program. So cool.
Well, that's what we always want to see, like our alum come back and coach and stuff like that. I think our dream is Nick Arbuckle coming back, right, as a coach.
Absolutely.
He was basically a coach while you played here anyway, so.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, any kind of quarterback is. Yeah, so Alexa says in the comments here, the Ferrari sisters, I'm pronouncing it Ferrari. I mean, if my name was spelled that way, I'd pronounce it Ferrari as well. Yeah, the twin sisters are on the team from Marietta, and they were killing it on the court, the beach, the sand this weekend. They were in all the write-ups. They were just killing it. So yeah, they are doing awesome, and I think they're freshmen. So got them around for several years. So
all right.
Phase off there.
When does that season start back? Do you know? Do you know what that looks like?
I'm assuming it wouldn't start back until was it February or March of next year, or when it started this year? So
it's only 2 months.
I don't know. Why are you asking me questions?
I'm just curious because I'm sad that I missed out, and I want to rectify that ASAP. And if it's next February.
It looks like we started everything. February 27th was the first game this season. So, So Alexis, back to the Ferrari sisters, highest winning percentage by a duo in history. So
GSU history, she corrected, but
yes. GSU history. But yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's not a long history, but we'll take it. Records.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. That's the one problem about beach volleyball is the way they do the whole scheduling is it's all these like little tournaments all over the place, but we only host 2 of them. We have that great facility downtown, and we only host 2 a season. And a lot of time, this was actually not that bad of a season because they had some like over the weekend. But I know in previous years when I've tried to go, there was like a Tuesday, Wednesday thing or something, and it wasn't as easy to go to. But I had a lot of fun when I went to that one, and hopefully can, go back next year. Obviously, I took daughter with me, and she enjoyed it. She enjoyed playing with the other kids there more, but.
That's fine. Whatever it takes, and then you can keep a side eye and everything worked out. Yeah,
like food trucks, they need to get like a booze truck that can pull up right next to it, and you can
just bring booze, man. What are they gonna? I mean, just bring a a flask or something.
It is an easy in and out policy. There's no tickets, so make your way back to the car.
Just put a cooler right on the street outside.
Fill up your water bottle. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, leave a cooler full of booze on a street downtown Atlanta. I'm sure it'll be there when you come back.
Just put a sign on it that says, like, not for you.
Exactly. Just like the candy at Halloween. Like, take one piece and move along. Open the door back up and the whole thing's emptied out.
If you're still here when I get back, I'll just give you one.
Yeah. I guess you had to get the little 8-ounce Bud Light cans so that, if they take them, they don't take that many of them.
No. Because then you have to drink Bud Light.
One thing you're talking about, I agree with, was about wanting to get former players to come back. I mean, that's the way I feel about across any school. That if you get an opportunity to be a coach in your alma mater, that's got to be the highlight, right? Especially if your college is one of the bigger programs that pay the gobs and gobs of money. But just in general, being able to go back to your alma mater to coach, that's got to be a bucket list thing for anybody that goes into coaching.
You'd hope that it would weigh heavily, but yeah, I mean, I guess if you had a choice between like Georgia State or Alabama, I would hope Nick Arbuckle would do the right thing and pick us, but I would doubt that he would do it.
Right. I would assume that his stint at Georgia State is what would get him hired at Alabama as their coach.
Yeah. I guess that might be true.
When it comes to state,
I'm getting things a little out of order. Yeah, for sure. Whatever, man. Dream big.
Dream big. Then men's tennis was the other team that played in a championship, here in Atlanta of Peachtree City, hosting the championship.
I feel like every week you find a different way to try to word that and make it, make sense, but it just won't. It
No,
won't
it
make
doesn't.
sense.
Well, I
Nothing
mean,
about
Atlanta
it.
has all their little neighborhoods and everything. You got your Edgewoods and your Old Fourth Ward and your Summer Hill and
Yeah.
everything. You just have Peachtree City ATL. That's an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
Peachtree City is not a neighborhood in Atlanta.
It's a little island. It's like how the Philippines are a territory of the United States. It's just a little territory of Atlanta down in South Georgia or Central Georgia.
I mean, I get confused every time I leave the perimeter and I don't have to, show a passport. So,
Oh, you're one of those IT peers
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
going to Marietta, and you're like, "What time do flights leave to Marietta?"
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I'm like, can I just do this or do I need to
You
find like a
grew
nature trail and like get over the wall? Like what do we got to do here?
you grew up OTP. You went
Yeah.
to school OTP.
Yeah, I don't know what you want from me.
I grew up OTP, and I don't see any problem going to Roswell or Alpharetta or Marietta or whatever. Now you start getting to Lawrenceville and Gainesville. I didn't want to go there when I lived in Roswell, so
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a whole different beast. So, but men's tennis, they made it to the championship game, and they lost to South Alabama. And I went back and took a look at their seasons past, and apparently South Alabama is kind of like our kryptonite in men's tennis championships. We play in the championships and lose to them, I should say, quite often, but we lost to USA in 2019 and 2018. There was no 2020 season because COVID sucks. We beat them in the championship in 2017. So that's literally four championships in a row we've played against South Alabama, and we only beat them in one of them. So
that's that sucks, man. But I guess South Alabama has to be good at something,
right? But apparently, like we talked about last week with women's tennis, about how that had been historically good and has fallen off over the past couple of years. Men's tennis has been gangbusters for a while and continues. Like we won the Sun Belt the very first year we joined the conference. And,
all right.
Played in the conference championship the past four games they had. So and we're making the tournament. Making it to the game. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, men's tennis is good. I didn't realize their men's tennis was a good program. So hopefully
I'll take it. I'm not that interested in tennis. I've considered like taking it up because it's a cheap and easy to do exercise, but I'm not very interested in watching it. I don't know.
I have a hard time watching it myself. I had a buddy of mine trying to get me into it, watching Wimbledon or whatever that stuff's called once, and
did you look up the grass courts?
I did not look. I forgot all about that till just now.
I mean, you should. It actually is kind of cool looking. And it's straight up grass. I mean,
all right, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Fun stuff.
I guess we're gonna lose people, man.
We're gonna lose them. Yeah. Congrats to the men's team for making the championship. Hopefully, we can get over the South Alabama hump again next year.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the other sports. Baseball played today, just finished a 14-inning game against Wofford here in Atlanta, or in Panthersville at least.
So was there any scoring in those extra innings, or was it all just 0-0-0-0?
It was 0-0-0, and then in the 14th inning, I posted about the game going on in our Patreon chat. And as soon as I did that, Wofford came back and scored to take a 3-2 lead. So I'm like, of course, I just jinxed the whole game by sharing it with people. And go into the bottom of the 14th, we tied up. And then, what's his name? Trey Horton, first career college at-bat, hits a RBI single to win the game for us. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's the way you get your first at-bat is by
heck yeah, man. His stats must be off the charts.
I think it's 1,000. I think his batting average is 1,000 right
now. That's pretty good, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, which is we needed because we were actually coming off of that was we lost all 4 games that we played last week since we last talked. I don't know what the streak was, but
is Wofford SoCon like the FCS SoCon?
I don't know. They're just I don't pay attention to that kind. You pay attention to that kind of stuff?
I used to, and I sort of remember when Georgia Southern was leaving them to come up to us, that being a decent baseball league.
Right, yeah.
So it's not like we beat a bunch of scrubs in 14 innings. We probably beat a decent team.
Right, of course. Yeah, agreed. We had lost to Mercer brutally 4-17 last week, and then again South Alabama. who is number one in conference. That we lost all 3 games in the series down there.
I also feel like Mercer's got our number. I don't know how, but it just feels like they do beat us like all the time and everything.
Yeah, I wonder if there's anything to do with it. I mean, Mercer and Georgia State are 2 different types of universities, but is there
Mercer's
anything
a private school, right?
Maybe the Mercer kids are mad they didn't get recruited by Georgia State, or they kind of take it a little personal, or there's some kind of rivalry type thing going on. But yeah, Mercer tends to have our number in a lot of sports a lot of the time.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. Hopefully, like if we are we playing them in football any time at all? Do you know if there's any kind of contract there, or?
I don't think we have them on our schedule whatsoever at all.
I'd imagine we'd win that one, but I
never take any FCS team. I don't want to ever bet on Georgia State when it comes to an FCS team.
I know. It's always scary.
I'm looking at our future schedule. No Mercer on there.
No
at
Mercer.
All
right.
We don't even have Kennesaw State scheduled again. And we have games scheduled out all the way through 2030.
I think it's a shame. I think we should play those teams, but whatever.
I get why you wouldn't want to schedule those. It's one of those kind of games where that's their Super Bowl and that's our just warm up type game. But I agree with you. I just like Georgia used to play Southern every 4 years, and I think Tech played it every 4 years, played Southern when those were the only schools here. Just as kind of like a little pity thing to let the fans have a chance to go up to Athens or something.
Yeah.
I think we should do the same thing. I think we should play Kennesaw every 4 years. I don't know why it was 4 years. I don't know. That was a thing though. But I don't want to play Kennesaw State every single year. I don't want to play Mercer every single year.
Maybe every 2 years or something.
Every 2 years play.
Do Mercer then Kennesaw, then Mercer then Kennesaw or something.
Right. Yeah.
One of the things that bothers me about all those conversations is, people are like, oh, well, we're not good enough to get on their schedule yet. And then once we're good, they're like, oh, well, they're too scared to put us on their schedule. I'm like, well, it's one or the other, guys. Like there's not some sweet spot in between. Like they're just going to, it's all about money. Who cares? They're going to schedule us or they're not going to schedule us. And they should just schedule the local team.
I agree. I would be okay with that. I don't want to play Southern ever again just because they are really beneath us. But I would like to play. I think it makes sense to play Kennesaw State. And
wait, who's beneath us?
Georgia Southern.
Okay, they're in our conference, man.
In a conference we don't belong in.
All right,
we're better than.
No, I'm cool.
We have a listener question.
Let's not. Oh, come on. Let's not do this.
Tim Thurber calling in straight from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Would be like to play a game in the Benz? Would we like to play a game in the Benz?
I don't. Yeah, maybe he's having a lot of fun at. Who calls it the Benz? Don't we call it the Merc? Isn't it the Merc?
I try to call it the Merc, and it didn't catch on. I think the Benz got more the name. But no, would you want to play one of our games in Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
I don't care to do that.
It had to be the right game. Like if
we did like a Chick-fil-A kickoff there or something, I'd be in. But we're not going to get invited to that anytime soon. So
we had an opportunity with Tech when Tech was looking for their extra game.
Yeah, no, Tech at the Merc would be fantastic. Tim added on maybe Southern, and no, my vote is no. We're going to play them at home.
An away game. If Southern wants to play their away game at Mercedes,
yes.
I don't really want them to have that. I don't want them to have home field at Mercedes-Benz either.
Nope, that's fine. They wouldn't have. It wouldn't be. I mean, it'd still be split. It'd still be half and half.
I know, but I was mean it'd be considered a home game.
I don't care. I mean, that's a notch on a piece of paper. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So
well, it's like if you want to be part of the show, then you should actually just be here and
just show up, dude.
Typing in questions online.
I'm glad he's paying attention. I guess
our Friday night Chick-fil-A kickoff game. I'd be super down for that. I'd be to play on a Chick-fil-A game. Absolutely. But like you said, Ryan, we're not there.
Well, they'll do 2 every now and again, but they're still all P5 games, I mean, and sometimes it's not good P5 teams. They'll put like Purdue or something stupid in there, or like Virginia Tech.
When they put Duke versus Alabama.
Yeah, it's like who cares about this game? This is a bad kickoff.
Yeah, I think outside of the Falcons, the Alabama has probably played more football games in Mercedes-Benz Stadium than any other team.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
They're always scheduled there, like between the SEC championship and the kickoff games. They're always like when I had Super Bowl tickets when they were in it, and I'm like, I can't sell these tickets because like there's like Mercedes-Benz fatigue out of Alabama fans because they're like anybody that's wanted to go see a Bama game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium has gone and seen it.
Was it a national championship? Were they in that one too, or probably.
Maybe it was SEC championship I'm talking about.
I mean, there was a national championship too, though, and I thought it was like Alabama Notre Dame or somebody. I think.
Oh yeah, one of those games where Notre Dame had no business being in. No, because Notre Dame.
I don't remember, man.
It doesn't.
I'm just wondering if they were there for the national championship that was in the Merc.
Probably.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, data's on their side on that one because they're in like every single one for the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about Alabama. Let's get back to Georgia State.
Bama.
Woo!
The baseball team, they won the big game or the 14-inning game today, so that's awesome. They head out to Coastal, we're hosting Coastal Carolina, who's supposed to be the big dog in the conference for baseball, and they are square in last place in conference.
Well, maybe that's what we have to expect for football next season.
Oh, yeah, that's where they belong. They actually break out baseball into divisions, East and West, because there are all 12 schools play, and so Coastal's last in the East. We're one notch above them in the East. But I looked at the record, and if they did not break it out in divisions, Coastal would be last place overall.
Right on.
In conference. So that's fun. And we play them. Hopefully that's a chance for us to get some wins. And I mentioned this last week. They're doing a celebration for former baseball coach Mike Hurst, who passed away earlier this year, on Saturday's game. They're doing a whole like hours of thing, like a gathering at 1:30, celebration of life at 2, some baseball in and out thing. It's not In and Out burgers. I think we figured that one out, but
right. I vaguely remember that from last week.
Right. So that's going on this weekend. Hopefully that goes over well, and I kind of want to go, but I don't know if I'm welcome back after last time I went. So
I'm sure you are. Whatever.
Keep an eye out for me. I'm sure.
Just no heckling, man. No heckling, which is absurd at a sporting event. I don't get it, but.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Isn't that what you did? That's what you did, right? You were heckling?
Well, I go back OTP where they belong.
I'm pretty sure baseball is another sport where you're supposed to, like, hey, batter. Like, you're supposed to heckle.
I've seen maybe that's what I should just do. Just do the Ferris Bueller stuff the entire time. Like, what was that movie with a kid in it? It's like the Rookie of the Year, something like that. And he's like, batter's got a big, or pitcher's got a big butt. Pitcher's got a big butt. Just take every movie quote that's heckling in baseball and do that.
Just have the script and just go for it. Yeah.
There's probably some things from Bill Durham I could probably not get away with saying.
And if somebody starts getting on to you you'd be like, look, I'm actually just being as generic as I possibly can. Like, you cannot have a problem with this. This is baseball.
Exactly. There's no crying in baseball. Maybe not even like insults, not even taunts. Just literally yell out baseball movie quotes. Like,
and actually do nothing else. So if somebody even gets on to you, just have quotes ready for them too.
Maybe even have like a little like noisemaker thing where it just plays them off, like plays the actual quote from the movie, like the sound from the movie.
All right. I mean, this sounds good.
It's starting to sound like a good time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's I don't know. Maybe I'll try to go to that. I don't know. That'd be fun. Let's see. While we're on other sports, what's next? Softball that lost to Kennesaw State.
Happens.
We're number. I must have gotten this wrong. Oh yeah, we're last place in conference, just behind the Trash down south. They're playing at Monroe this weekend, so hopefully can get stuff going over there. That program's just having some problems right now. Talk about beach volleyball. Talk about men's tennis. Men's golf had their championship this weekend, and it's still going on actually. But I think as of today, we are officially out of the championship rounds or whatever. I think that the top 4 teams make it to play tomorrow. So yeah, that's other sports.
Cool. We're done with that. Want to do football now? We can do football.
We can do football because there actually is a little bit of football to talk about. Nothing that really happened, so to speak, but College Football News website put out their 2021 preview, and they have like 5 pages of things to talk about Georgia State. I'm assuming they're probably doing 5 pages for everybody.
I thought it was quite good too. I was pretty excited to read all of it, and I thought it invoked a lot of thought in what I was thinking about the program, and did not include a ton of stats, which was nice.
Right. Yeah, a few numbers here and there, but what I liked about it was very, very overall positive. Very pumping up the program, and like I think they end the thing saying that Georgia State should be putting on the best program best team they've had. They say since joining FBS, and I'm like, just go ahead and say ever.
Yeah, we're not going to be the best FBS team already is still better than any FCS team we had.
Exactly. So. That first year where we went 6-6 or something.
Still better. But
if we had Drew Little taking snaps under center right now, this team could take it to the next level.
What cracked me up was, or what I thought was funny, was the end where they said we're going to have the best team we've basically ever had, but the schedule, which is what you always harp on. And I was like, oh, great. Here it comes. David's going to talk about the dang schedule.
I did save it to the end because their article had it at the end. But yeah, talk about the schedule. Yeah.
Well, you brought up the end first, so I'm just going there.
I hear you.
You did it. I'm just following you, buddy.
After all the positive things they said about it, we'll get into those. They said that best team we put on the field, and they're predicting our season win total at 6.
6-6.
There was an interesting thing about that, though. They list the teams like that are going to be difficult. The games are difficult. They say, we're on the road at UNC, Auburn, Coastal, Lafayette, the Trash Down South. They actually said that Trash Down South. I was actually in there. It didn't say anything else.
I thought it was weird, but I just accepted it. Yeah.
Exactly. They finally picked up. College Football News listens to us. They know what
they knew it. Yeah.
The school is. Sorry. I said school. I mean the post high school education center. But then they list our home games of Arky State, Troy, and Army. They did not list Appalachian State as a hard game in there.
No, but they also listed that as the key win, as like a key game for us that will be like season defining for us.
And of course, that is the first game we play not only after Auburn, but coming out of our out of conference schedule altogether. So yeah. We talked about this a little bit before, but offline, or I guess online, but not on the show. I'm ready to guarantee 128 days out from football starting. I'm ready to guarantee that we beat average here.
Ooh, all right.
It happens. I think so.
All right. I mean, I'll count it, but I'm not putting any money on that.
Oh no, I'm not putting money on it.
I mean, I'm not putting anything on. I'm not even staking I'm not even gonna say anything about it.
Yeah,
well, I don't know anything about it.
You just say 120 days later. Now, when we get into the season starting, I'll be sweating.
No. You locked in. You're locked.
No, I'm locked in. We're beating them.
It doesn't matter. They could be undefeated. We could be 0 and whatever, and you're locked in. You think we're gonna beat them? Yeah,
we're gonna beat them. Oh, I'll give the caveat of if we're healthy. No. If we're healthy, like if Quad goes down in the Auburn game.
No, but
comes in and just like throws for 8 touchdowns, and we win.
You locked yourself in. You did it. You called it. You said 100 and whatever days early. That means all that other stuff that could happen between now and 100 and whatever days. You locked in, man. You're in.
Yeah.
All right.
As long as there's no injuries.
Oh, come on. I mean, David, so the good news is I won't remember this.
That is the good news. The articles also started off very flattering of Quad, which I think is very well deserving. And they made a good point in there that as great as he was this past season, he kind of got overlooked just because the quality of quarterback play in the conference overall was really good. And, he had some bad turnovers, some interceptions to work on. But that was like the only negative thing out there was just, work on the accuracy of throwing the ball.
Well, and he was a freshman, I mean, he's not going to be super accurate, but they talked about that too. The thing they didn't talk about that I thought was kind of comparable is, you got like a Matthew Stafford Megatron type situation where he doesn't have to be very accurate when he's throwing at Sam Pinckney.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of throw it in his general vicinity, and most 50-50 balls are actually more like 75-25 going his way.
Right.
And so you do it, right? I mean, like, why not just toss it up and like hope Sam picks it up? And I think that's totally valid. And they also talked about, like, despite our turnovers, they didn't actually have a ton of effect on any of our games. Like, we won a bunch of games where our turnover margin was not great. So
yeah, wasn't there 3 games where we turned the ball over like on like an opening play and it gets run back for a touchdown? Like 15 seconds of the game, we're down by 6.
So they like sort of were like, this is an important stat for him, but also like it wasn't that important.
yeah. It's like we got to find some criticism. So this is the criticism. Yeah,
which is cool. That's good to hear. Yeah, and hopefully he gets better at it. That he is actually just getting more accurate and not just tossing it to his like comfortable person. But in the article they talked about how like our wide receiver core is pretty deep and talented, and so it's like he's gonna have plenty of weapons to throw it to.
All top 10, the top 10 receivers across the board last year are all back. So, yeah. I mean, which 10 receivers is a lot. But yeah, I think that this offense is going to be the best we've ever seen by far. Like at this point going in 120 days out, I'm saying when you go to Vegas, take the over on Georgia State. They're going to score. Yeah. They're going to score a lot of points this season.
Yeah. And you know what? They talked about the running game a little bit too, and how on the first page it says Quad doesn't have to do everything because he's got people behind him who can run. And totally agree. And I'm excited to see that happen. It's just we have such a dynamic offense. And then the other thing they did was they talked about key players. And I think the second key player, like best player on the team, was an offensive lineman, an offensive guard. And I just loved seeing that because I think that opens up things more than having competent running backs and wide receivers. Having a very good offensive line is key. So having somebody who's one of the top tier offensive linemen is going to be great for us.
Yeah, because it was like Quad and then Destin Coates, the offensive lineman, then our tight end, Roger Carter, came in there. Yeah, I agree. Someone on the line. The line is the most important thing on the offense, really. If you can give a quarterback time, you can open up holes. You can do that. I mean, and Coach Elliott, that's his gig, right? He's an offensive lineman.
Right. Shamarius Gilmore is the offensive guard. And then I also was giving credit to Roger Carter because tight end typically is doing a lot of blocking and not a lot of catching. So
right.
Yeah, although Carter's got pretty sticky fingers, so
yeah, I cannot agree with you more. It's going to be a very, very dynamic offense, and I look forward to it. And why does it have to be 128 days away? I want to go watch games now.
Yeah. Now on defense, that's where I was concerned because we had we actually had a ton of sacks, and it turns out that Strahan was a ton of them.
This author was actually watching the same Georgia State defense that we watched last season, because he's actually was pretty complimentary of the defense as well, and specifically the secondary, which I was like, really? Because I feel like people threw the ball all over us. Like with the last couple of games, the defense got better there at the end of the season, but I felt like they were throwing all over us all season.
Well, you got to remember that the rules are all geared towards allowing wide receivers to catch the ball and not letting the defensive side of the ball do a whole lot. So all across the NCAA, you're going to see a lot of defenses getting thrown all over because that's the way the rules are.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how it compared, but maybe we compared favorably because they did say that we had one of the best secondary players in Quay somebody. I don't know. I'm bad at this kind of stuff, man.
Quavion White?
Yeah, I think that was the name. And it said he was probably one of the better secondary players.
I think he listed as like the key defensive player on the team. Yeah, and like it just really surprised me reading the defensive side. Because reading the offensive side, I'm like, I agree. Quad's awesome. Coach is awesome. Like this is going to be awesome. We're going to score so many points. Then the defense, I'm like, oh, here we go. And then he's like talking about how there was no numbers here, but he said we actually led the nation in getting to the quarterback with sacks and tackles for losses. And granted, that's when we had Jordan.
That's Jordan Strahan, yeah.
And which is gone now, but still,
But yeah, he still listed a linebacker who came in as a key player. The transfer that we had from I forget where, but
Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake Forest, who actually had a pretty good season at Wake Forest. So I don't know, I don't actually know the story there why we got him, but it sounds like he was pretty good. So
yeah, I agree. So this guy, I don't know who he was. I guess I probably should have looked at who the author was or something. But yeah, it was pretty complimentary.
I have it up, Pete Futak.
I like it whenever there's a little dig in there, especially when it's somebody that's not like a Georgia State fan or whatever, and they still find a way to put a dig in at the trash down south just because it makes sense. It's not, they don't know they're giving them a dig. They're just, talking about facts and what really happened. And they talked about the strength of the defense last year was the rush defense and how that should be the strength of the defense again this year. And they mentioned that in a loss, Georgia Southern puts up 300 yards. And they said, but it's Georgia Southern. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, as I'm reading this, I'm like, I'm reading this and I'm reading it in a negative, like, haha, look at Southern, they're stupid. They're a single, play offense. And I'm like thinking these Southern fans are probably reading that going, that's right. That's what we do. Absolutely. We run the ball. And that's all we do.
You also lose to us.
Exactly. More often than you don't.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you run on us because it takes you too long and we just score anyway. It's all good, man. You do you, guys. You do you.
I was talking to a friend of mine who is actually a Southern alum, and I forget how the conversation came up, but we were talking about somebody else that's a Georgia State fan. He's like, yeah, just ask him how it feels to lose 61-34 inside of your home field, whatever. And I was like, how about you tell me how it feels to have a losing record at Georgia State? Like you're one of the only teams that has a losing record at Georgia State.
It's true. It's true. Even in like the FCS ranks.
I think it's like I think it's Southern and South Alabama, right? Are the only teams.
It's something crazy like that. Yeah. We've been pretty historically terrible, and yet we still seem to pull it out more often than not. Not seem to. We do.
Whoa. Keep in your pants there.
Well, I get excited.
Yeah. Also, we've got
our intern John Weaver Campbell. We have a winning record against Campbell. It's true.
Yeah,
Campbell, we're beating them.
So I want to put a caveat on there that yes, winning record against teams we've played more than once.
Have we played Campbell twice? I think, haven't we? No, I might just be making that up. I have no idea, man. I drink a lot and drink 4 games.
I have said this before on here, I'm sure, but I'm going to say it again. I watched that Campbell game on their streaming service on their website, and I mean, it wasn't that long ago. The internet was better than this back then, but I had a 55-inch TV, and it was basically like a 12-inch square on my big screen TV. That's all I could get on the TV. You could barely see anything.
Well, that was the director's choice. That's how it was meant to be watched, just so you know. So they did not do the widescreen, but that
was the Snyder cut. The Snyder cut of the Georgia State game.
John did also confirm that we have played Campbell twice.
All right. Okay. We'll see. That's what John. Yeah. Okay. So Campbell, Southern, and I think South Alabama are the teams we probably have.
It's something crazy like that. Yeah.
Well, those first few years when we were the FCS, we didn't play a lot of the same teams twice.
Right.
Are out of conference, and then we lost to everybody in conference. So.
It almost makes it sweeter though. It's like I'm sort of glad that we lost a bunch just so we can rub it in the trash down South's face that we might be losers, but like we beat you.
Yeah,
I'd rather win.
I hear what you're saying, but I would much rather have won a lot of games and beaten them.
But look, I'm finding the niceness in the losses. You know what I'm saying?
That was the great thing about it. They talk about how horrible we are, and then we just get to say like, we're so horrible that we own the record over you.
Yeah, there's only like 3 teams lower than us, and you're one of them.
Yeah. Anyhow, enough about them. So obviously, North Carolina is the biggest competition we're going to have this year. And if you're a betting person, we're going to talk about that. You put money on UNC, but I think that we're going to give these guys a scare.
Are you locked in? Win.
At minimum, we're giving these guys a scare.
You think so?
at minimum, we give these guys a scare. And it may be like we've done our P5 history of the past where we're either tied or leading or keeping it close in the first half and maybe we fall apart.
Yeah, first half scare.
But I think that the way this team is, and having just beaten Army at home, going up there, I think that they're going to overlook us a little bit. They're going to overlook us just a little bit. And I don't know who they have before us, but I'm going to say this is probably a trap game for them because they probably have some, bigger, more well-known opponent in week 3. But yeah, I think that they're going to overlook us a little bit. I think we give them a little bit of a scare. If not, do a Tennessee 2.0 right up there.
Yeah, I'll take it. They don't make the right adjustments at the half because their coaching sucks. Whatever, man. I'll take it.
Yeah, Mac Brown is historically a bad head coach.
Well, he's gotten fired from places, right?
Yeah, one of the best programs in all of football.
Texas isn't that good.
Not because of him. After him, he's not.
Well, he ruined that program.
Yeah. He did well at UNC before, and looks like he's doing well at UNC again. But I was looking at. I didn't book it, but I'm going to UNC. And I'm going to Yeah.
You're going?
I'm going.
All right.
Also, when my wife hears this episode, that may change, but I'm locked in. I'm locked in that I'm going.
Yeah, right on.
You can tell her that when she says I can't go, you can say, no, he's locked in. He's got to go.
He's locked in. He said it.
Locked in. Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Make us lose?
Why would I make us lose?
No, her.
Oh, exactly.
I'm not letting you go.
There was a fun stats. That was the last little thing they had. I think it was the last thing they had on the article, the College Football News article was, one was actually pretty good. It was, we had 35 sacks for 213 yards, whereas our opponents had 12 sacks for 71, which that disparity is just huge.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But then the next two stats really are defining of all Atlanta teams. First half scoring, we had 189 points and our opponents had 148. So we lead that. But then second half, we would have 141 points to opponents 163. I'm like,
so it's they don't realize how fun that is considering we're an Atlanta team.
Absolutely. Yeah. Most Atlanta thing ever is just not scoring late in games. So
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got on that, I think.
All right. That's all I got on that, I think.
There was one thing that I just saw before we came on here tonight, and it's not that big of news, but with basketball, just to go ahead and round out all the sports that are going on or that we talk about, the Sun Belt announced what the conference schedule is going to be for the tournament this following year. And basically it's similar to what it was this past year, with the championship game being played on Monday before the selection Sunday, which I thought the reason why they did that this past year was because of COVID concerns, that they had to move back the tournament. There's an additional weekend to play the game. But no, they're doing the same thing. So yeah, a Monday night championship, which I know, Tim went down there.
I thought you meant less than a week before selection Sunday. You mean like a week and like 6 days?
I mean 6 days. 6 days.
You mean 6 days? So less than a week.
Yes, less than a week. But before we had been playing on selection Sunday, like we do a noon game on selection Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, I was surprised to see that they were going to keep that going on. But an interesting thing is that little tiny gym they played some of the games in. They're not playing there this season. They're going to play everything in the one arena, but they're going to alternate days. The tournaments, men's and women's, will start on a Wednesday. Women play on Wednesday, men play on Thursday, women play on Friday, men play on Saturday, and then they both play their final games on Sunday and Monday. So if you go down there, it won't be back-to-back-to-back men's games or back-to-back-to-back women's games.
Do you think they're just trying to encourage people to go to the women's games? Is that yeah.
Well, I think what they wanted to do is they wanted to get out of that tiny little gym they were playing in, where people had to climb up the rafters to get to their seats and stuff. But yeah, I think it is an encouragement. And honestly, being down there in Pensacola, having a day off between games just gives you another chance to party it up and have a good time. Go watch the women's game. So,
right on.
Yeah. But all 12 teams will be competing again. So
yeah, cool.
All right, well, that's all I got for this week. We got close to just right at 40 minutes without.
This is good timing. This is not bad
Tim
timing.
chimed in, so I'm gonna these extra 4 or 5 minutes that we're going over 40. I'm gonna accuse Tim of doing that.
We'll just kick Tim off now because we can do 45 minutes. That's probably a nice tighter podcast. We'll just kick Tim off. Just kidding, Tim. Just kidding.
All right. I have one thing I will talk about last call for sure, but we'll do that then. Promo code for free shipping this week. If you want to do Blue, I couldn't think of anything that made sense. I would have done Locked In if I know what the episode had entailed beforehand.
Hey, name of the episode though.
I already have it written down.
All right.
So Blue for free shipping on merch.stateofatlanta.com for all of our stuff. We're going to head over and do last call. We'll drink some more and talk a little bit more Georgia State and about this little baseball thing I saw today. And last call is free on our Patreon page, patreon.com/stateofatlanta. If you join for $3 a month, you get access to that early, as well as access to our group chat, discounts on our merch store, and whatever else I decide to come up with. So anyhow, thanks everybody for watching, for listening.
Bye, y'all.